Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're going to answer subscribers' questions in today's show. We recently did a mailbag call. We asked you guys to submit your questions. A lot of you did. If you're wondering how to get on the next mailbag, go down right now, subscribe to the channel because we only take questions from subscribers. Let's first go to my guy, Don Brady. Should the Celtics trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant? I would if I was the Celtics. You never know how long your championship window is going to be in the NBA, and I know Jaylen Brown's a younger player. I don't know if he's ever going to be as good as a guy like Kevin Durant. You put together Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant, that's a team that could win titles for the next 2, 3, 4 years. We have to go back to the summer as well. Remember, Boston already offered Jaylen Brown, and I think it was another player and a first-round pick for Kevin Durant. The Nets did turn that down, but if that deal's on the table, could you imagine a starting lineup with Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Malcolm Brogdon, Al Horford, Marcus Smart? I mean, still got Williams as well. That would be a really good team. I think Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum would be the best scoring duo we've seen at the forward spot in a really, really long time. I'll ask you guys right now. I want the real ones to sound off in the comment section. If you were the Celtics, would you trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant? If you were the Celtics, would you do it? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know what you're thinking. Shout out to Lars Neal. I hope I'm saying that right. What player has made the biggest step so far this year? Wow. Okay, so we're only about, 15 games into the NBA season. I'll go with the guy that I feel like is becoming one of the most least talked about, maybe stars one day in the NBA, and that's Bones Highland, a guy that's averaging 15 points per game, 3.5 rebounds. This is a guy that can really do it all on the court. I mean, he's also averaging 3 assists, shooting a little low percentage-wise from the field at 40%, but 50% from beyond the three-point arc. This is a guy that's a 6'5" shot creator. He honestly gives me vibes of a guy like Jamal Crawford. Just has the ball on a string, can get to a spot, can let it fly, finish with the left, finish with the right, can pull up from 40. He's a tough shot taker and a tough shot maker. I've been really impressed with what Bones Highland has been able to do so far for Denver this year. If that team could just stay healthy, they are going to be a scary team in the Western Conference playoffs. Him and Jamal Murray in the backcourt with MPJ as well as the Joker, the Nuggets, they're a real team out west. Sloan Bradley, what up? Do you think the Lakers will trade Anthony Davis? I think the Lakers have to ask themselves, what do you want to be? And I don't even really know if it makes all that much sense to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers, because there's no reason to tank this year. You can't trade LeBron for a year, and you don't have your own first-round pick. But let's say you trade Anthony Davis for a guy like Bradley Beal. Then I do think that makes some sense. But just trading Davis to trade him and get young players and future draft capital, that doesn't make any sense. The only reason the Lakers should trade Anthony Davis, and Rob Pelinka, listen up, you might get another contract extension. If you do trade Anthony Davis, it needs to be for a player that makes this team better. You don't sell low on a guy like Anthony Davis. I would like to see an Anthony Davis maybe for Kevin Durant trade, or an Anthony Davis for maybe a Bradley Beal trade. I think that would make a lot of sense. I think both those guys fit better next to LeBron James at this point. With Anthony Davis not being a knockdown shooter from 3 anymore, I don't think that marriage of LeBron and AD really mesh all that well together. Rodney Pete, the next one on this mailbag. What up, Rod? With Randle playing better, does he not get traded now? Julius Randle? That's who I'm assuming you're talking about. I don't know. Julius Randle is the definition of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Goes out and puts up 33, 34 on the Nuggets on Wednesday night. Let's see what he does coming up this weekend. This is a guy that has all the potential in the world, in my opinion, to be one of the best in the NBA. He's 6'9". He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He can dribble. He's got a layup package. He can score at all 3 levels when he wants to be, and he's engaged. He's a good perimeter defender. He can rebound. He can really do it all on the court. Just up here with Julius Randle. When he's locked in, he's one of the best, but he's got to be locked in more so, and I think he needs to give better effort on the defensive end, because we've seen him. When he's plugged in, he can play defense. You just got to be all the way bought in. If I was the Knicks, I still would look to trade a guy like Julius Randle. Look, if his trade value is getting higher and higher, might as well take advantage of it and trade him. But hey, maybe you guys feel different. Should the Knicks trade Randle? Type T for trade. Type P for pass. P for pass. Wow, that was weird. Type T for trade. Type P for pass. Let me know. And one thing you don't want to pass on is the awesome sportsbook deal that our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS, has going on. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code chat125. Do those two things, and they're going to hook you up with a 125% deposit bonus. Get $100 into your account. We'll give you $125 for free. You'll have $225 to bet with. You can bet on who wins the NBA Finals. You can bet on any game, live game, all types of things. Get hooked up with our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. Marvin Ball. Is Zion Williamson off the trade block? I think for now, yeah. I think that the Pelicans know if they get healthy and they have that big three of Zion and CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, that potentially has some of the most star power in the Western Conference. I think the Western Conference is wide open right now. I think the East is really, really top heavy, and they have some pretty good teams right in the middle. But I think anybody can win the West at this moment. If you go into the playoffs with a healthy Zion, a healthy CJ McCollum, and a healthy BI Brandon Ingram, you're going to be able to do some damage. Like both those guys, all three of those guys could score 30 any single night. I wouldn't look to trade Zion anytime soon if I was the New Orleans Pelicans. I do think Zion is off the trade block. I don't know if he was ever even on the trade block, to be honest with you. John Clark, I heard Bradley Beal wants to be a Laker. There was a report from Howard Beck, that reported, and here it is. Wow, we got the quote on screen. Lord Coop doing God's work behind the screen. Howard Beck reported. So here was the quote from the Western Conference executive I spoke to who had mentioned this. Washington is the one that I keep hearing that's going to happen. If you're the Lakers, don't you think you can get Bradley Beal? He's got a no trade clause. He wants to come to California. So, yeah, I did hear that Bradley Beal wants to be a Laker, but I think that trade, I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to land a guy like Bradley Beal unless you give up Anthony Davis. They have to be an Anthony Davis for Bradley Beal trade, and then you work out the financials and get the money right to make it an eligible trade in the NBA. He has that no trade clause. He's had every opportunity to be traded, but he continues to say, I want to stay in Washington. So even though the report says so, I don't believe Bradley Beal until he makes it happen. I think it'd be a really good duo, though, of LeBron James and Bradley Beal on the same team. Danny Boy, 67. What up, DB? Who wins the NBA championship? I think it's going to be a team out of the East this year. My top two teams would either be the Milwaukee Bucks. They're my favorite. I think Giannis is just, he's on a revenge tour right now. Felt like he let his team down, not winning the title last year, not getting into the NBA Finals. I think he's a man on a mission. I think he's the most unstoppable player in the association. So I go with the Bucks. If I had to say a second team, I think it would be the Boston Celtics. I think that's going to be the Eastern Conference Finals matchup coming up once we get to May or June or whatever it may be. But I'll go with the Bucks. I got the Bucks as the team that I think is winning the NBA championship. But before we get out of here, I want to ask you guys, who wins the 2023 NBA championship? I'm going with the Bucks. I want to hear from you. Sound off. Make sure to give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Give me a follow. Tweet about the NBA all day, every day. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.